Hello everyone and welcome back to another Global Lab patch notes reading for November 28th. Hopefully all of you Americans out there had a good Thanksgiving. And yeah, so it's been a while since we've done any patch notes readings or Global Labs, that is. Usually only cover it when there's something notable to talk about, and today is part of that. So with that said, it's translated from Korean to English. I'll try to make it make sense. And if you want to read this for yourself, just know that it's not in English. I'll leave a link in the description. But usually Global Lab notes come to the live servers the following week. And basically, all the stuff that's really notable is coming out with the ball in December. But yeah, today is still pretty, it's a decent amount. I didn't read it fully. I just kind of skimmed a little bit, and let's talk about it. So, first, we have character adjustments. Admittedly, I don't really know too many of the classes that they listed today, but, Warrior. Okay, so previously, Warrior Awakened often required you to pay close attention to skill order, whether all AP effects were enough to pull out stronger combos. I believe that is usually how all classes work. You buff, then you do big damage, but apparently Warriors had it a little bit tougher. With this, we've added all AP effects from Greatsword Training, Barrier, and all the other abilities. So basically, it's more, they're trying to make Warriors a little bit more freestyle, kind of like Dark Knight. But the idea still stays the same, where like you hit all your add-ons, like, your crit rate up, crit rate damage, back attacks, the buffs for your class, that goes for every class that is. And then you do the big damage. But let's see. Increasing AP by 32 for 10 seconds. That's pretty good. All right. So Guardian. Actually Guardian is one of the classes that apparently does really well for pressing 6 buttons, and has really big AoEs. So anyway, for Guardian Succession, we've added a new Succession Juggernaut skill for engaging and disengaging in battle. That actually seems pretty good. I've always thought of Guardian as kind of a tank, not like Succession Nova level tanking, but usually when you have your buffs up, I think Guardians are pretty strong, the way it is. But let's see what's happening. Automatically activates when using an advanced skill after acquiring the new skill. You know those classes right here where it says you have super armor and forward guard? That always was an interesting choice, because some classes only have one protection, and then there's some classes with two of them, which never really made sense to me, because in theory, forward guard and super armor, super armor is generally better than forward guard, but why some classes have two protections and some classes don't, who knows? It is what it is. Cooldown change from 21 to 15 seconds. That's actually big. Cooldown reduction time is probably one of the biggest things. You can, if you know how to play your class extremely well, down to the split second, cooldown changes are always really good. Link quickly. Cool. Drakania. Her trait is to withstand enemy attacks and stay in fights to recover HP. Dude, you guys remember the meta 1 or 2 years ago where Drakanias were basically the PvP gods and they had to tone her down? Now they're bringing her back up again. I've played this game for almost 10 years now. I've seen the balance patches of basically everything. Drakanias were at a point a couple years ago where they were just the gods of PvP. Then they got nerfed down to average or above average levels, and now they're trying to, keep them back at the top again. I assume one of the developers at Pearl Abyss plays the Drakania, and that's why they're doing this. Okay, so the effect of damage reduction from 55 to 80. That's kind of a lot. Holy, okay. Damage reduction rate. That's kind of crazy. The flow when using the scale. Wait, so you take less damage and recover 500 instead of 14 to 20 times? Let me see. Okay, so at high-end PvP, most people have around 10 to 11,000 health. This is without shy buffs, dosa buffs, and everything. With dosa buffs, you get usually have between 15 to 17,000 health, depending on your class. So a 500 times 20 now is like 10,000. I think that is pretty good. Like overall, this is a good adjustment, but I don't know how, like I don't play Drakania enough to know, but the heal while using it, I think that's fine with the HP scaling these days with Adania armors and everything. But damage reduction while using the flow of this one, so like this one and this one work together. So like basically you take no damage and heal to full again. It kind of feels like a PA, protected area from Wizard Witch, and a heal going with it. I think instead of, a flat number, they should do percentage heals just across the board. So like all class healing should be percentage based, and that will scale, going forward with no matter how much health people have. So let's say BDO in 5 years when everyone has like 30,000 health. Final Fantasy 14 also had this problem as well, where they had to kind of like tone the numbers down. And like, I think just having a percentage heal across the board would always be, like a timeless change. So they don't have to do things like this. All right, Wukong. Wukong has been updated to dash forward towards distant foes while in Buddha state. Also, the PvP damage rate has been increased for adventurers who take advantage of normal states faster. I think normal means succession, whereas no, Wukong is not that way, but like, normal versus, how do I describe Wukong? It has a lot of gourd abilities, which means like you have to keep your gourd like going, which gives you the extra damage and all that stuff. So like that's one thing I didn't really like about the class, having to manage an extra thing. But let's see. Forward guard, super armor to forward guard. This is a downgrade. Yeah. I don't know. Like, this seems like a downgrade, right? If you were to choose between forward guard and super armor, I think people would choose super armor every time. But this probably is for overall balance. Admittedly, I don't know Wukong that well. I've played it a little bit through seasons and a little bit of PvP testing a few weeks after, but that's about the extent I've done to it. So, like, this probably seems like a necessary change, but I don't know. Okay. Normal state, forward guard to forward guard. Same as before. Gotcha. Forward guard to forward guard during use. Like at the start versus during use. This is probably a good change, actually. These are probably Korean translated by names that aren't the same, but let's see. Hey, damage buffs across the board. That seems pretty good. Yeah. All right, well, that's all the class changes. Dark Knight. When using Scratching Madness, it has been modified so it does not activate when holding down the S key. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Due to the deletion of some silver embroidered life clothing in the previous update that came out a few months ago, The only item that can be exchanged for silver embroidered is the trader's clothes, and the name has been changed. All's Revelation has been changed or has been added to the towns where you can return to when using the traveler's map in Drakania. That's pretty good. I'm actually working on the archaeologist map now that I finished my rich merchant ring. I'm at 3 out of 4 pieces for archaeologist map, so that's cool. The Pilaku jail sorted deportee is what's giving me so much trouble. I have 1 more to go, and this ain't it. All right, so let's see. Improve that you can pass through the recovery beads placed during the bosses in the Black Temple. I thought that's always how it worked. I guess I, learned the mechanics to try not to take as many orbs as you can, but it's a good thing they're there. Solo with Gumiho 8 to 10 to charge attack will now be used less frequently than before. How do I feel about that? Obviously, it's a good change, but I guess it just helps people who have lower stamina usage. But realistically, you just iframe out of it. But it does it like a lot of times, so I guess that makes sense. But overall, good change. Didn't really think that was an issue before, but I guess they're trying to tone down bosses for your average player. All right, so added a story about the construction of the Olvia Academy. So yeah, they're like trying to retweak Olvia entirely, because that used to be a starter zone back in the day. If you're like a new player and haven't been playing for the past, or like you just started within the past, I don't know, 5 years, there's no reason for you to ever be in Olvia. But like Olvia used to be a starter point for the OG players. Like now we start at Western Guard Camp or somewhere. But yeah, they're trying to like retweak the entire town and actually make it useful, which I think is overall good. So that's cool. Background NPCs. Let's see. Okay. Oh boy, Blue Battlefield. Dude, my experience of Blue Battlefield has been like, that Stonks meme, but reverse, kind of. It was supposed to come out in August. It got delayed until literally last week. And so that's like an extra 3 to 4 months of wait. And then even as it released, like you can't merc into it. And if you're in a guild that does Node Wars at will, like the Node War buff doesn't even stack. It like replaces it with the worst one. So it's like people who do PvP, like, Node Wars Conquest, they don't even want to do Blue Battlefield because you're getting your buff overwritten with the worst one. And then like sailing guilds, you can't even merc in. The rewards aren't that good. Like, it's such a cool concept. Blue Battlefield, like you made your boat for a reason, go out PvPing, but then like half the people can't do it or don't want to lose better buffs instead of it. So it's kind of like, what is even happening at Pearl Abyss, where it's just like all it takes is for some people to like look at what this is and then would have made adjustments, which I assume all of these things might be changed in the like upcoming few months and everything. But like as it stands right now, unless you're in a sailing guild, you're basically not getting into this. So I don't know, man. This was an entire disaster of a launch, and I think they were just on a quota and trying to push this out as fast as possible without, literally testing anything. Hopefully in the next few months or something, it'll, actually be equivalent to like Node War buffs and everything, and then just allow people to merc in like you would do in a Node Wars, and that would literally fix all the problems. Okay, so before and after change for the guild boats, up to 30 degrees, 15 left and right after change. Okay, movement. The buff effect that can be obtained when winning blue battlefield has been increased. You know what you should also add instead of all of this? You should come up with a new like XP buff called, like, when you barter, maybe there's a chance to proc an additional item instead of a 1-to-1 trade. You're like, oh, you have the buff. There's a 5%. Maybe you get a second item for free. You know, right? Like, it makes sense. Like, bartering and selling is kind of connected. Or, you know, higher chance to proc an item when you're doing the special barters, or like a higher chance than your average, maybe like 5% increased rate or something. I don't know, just something that connects bartering with sailing and PvP. Like, it would make ocean content more, you know, fun, I guess, or rewarding, instead of just life skill buffs that, you know, it's good, but I feel like if you're in a guild that wins blue battlefields, you are already good enough to have all of this stuff, and it's just like, oh, whatever, an extra 100 life skill mastery and 50%, cool, you're probably already in your gurus. So sailor experience is good. I just wish there would be a little bit more, you know, maybe connect bartering with it, or, you know, hey, if you won blue battlefield, now everyone knows. So when you barter, you use less parley, and when you're bartering, that would be cool. Okay, it's been changed so you can no longer participate in occupation battles by occupying the blue battlefield fortress. That's stupid. Like, now you have to choose. Like, why? Just let people who like PvPing do PvP. What's wrong with this game? Just let people do things. You cannot participate, or a penalty for going red, or like naval fame and sea reputation, naval fame or karma will no longer be applied on that server. No penalty will be applied. Oh, that's... Oh. I mean, this is fine. Like, it's not really worth going red in naval fame or karma, because it literally locks out a lot of your progression. So I don't think many people are negative karma in the ocean or naval karma, but I mean, this kind of okay. Olvia Academy and will no longer take place in the Costa Farm and new places. Okay. Have you caught the moles during cultivation? Yeah, 6 moles have appeared, and then sometimes you miss one and you proc another one, just doesn't spawn. Yep, couldn't be me. Only happened once. A message will appear saying you can no longer feel the presence of moles. This is a good change. Maybe instead of that, make the moles like glow red so it's more obvious to see. That would be a better change, but I mean, this is also fine. All right, so let's see. Bug fixes and changes. Are there anything actually notable worth talking about? So all of this is the Justin Bartali thing. It's a new adventure log that you get from starting at Velia. It doesn't really give too many good rewards, but it's like you should probably do it at some point. You never know. It's just like a bunch of titles, nothing major in terms of rewards. Fix an issue where the mark was not visible when the hero was a battlefield hero, and Rose War Command has been fixed. Oh, okay. Black Temple. The start of the battle was awkward during the cutscene when progressing through the East Sea. What boss is this? Oh, I guess we'll figure out when the English translation comes out. Is this Apex Changui? Like, that's a new one, right? Like, they came out with a new shrine boss. I'm not sure what that one is. Oh, what is this? Windows license has been updated 3.1 to 3.5 for more stable operation in Windows 11 environments. What does that actually mean? Who knows? But hopefully that's a good change. This is like not an in-game thing like all of these, but it seems like if it makes the game more stable so people aren't crashing, if you're on Windows 11, that's good. Admittedly, I don't know what kind of like situations this has caused by being on the older thing, but I guess this seems like probably a good change. And the issue where the key guide overlapped when climbing a ladder for the first time has been fixed. That seems like a weird issue that could have been fixed 9 years ago, but it's okay. That's about it. That's all the notes for today. Yeah, some class changes. If you're one of the affected classes here, you're probably happy. Drakania is a very strong change. Wukong got a fat buff across the board, which I think is overall good. Blue Battlefield getting tweaked. Sorta, but not like the main issues that people are concerned about. And that's about it. So, with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic time. If you learned something, stick around for more videos in the future. We're definitely going to be covering the Calpheon Ball, or whichever one it is, coming up in December. And yeah, I'll talk about that more when that happens. But with that said, I got a bunch of videos coming out in the meantime, so hopefully you guys stick around. If you're new to your channel, hit that subscribe button. Would love to see you guys come back, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.